Well, thank you for being with us, David. It's very nice to have you here. We're very excited to have this interview with Zoom. We know that you're based in Winnipeg, and sadly we cannot have you here in Toronto. But hopefully soon we will be able to have you here with us and to hear more about Tunic. So thank you for having for coming to the virtual studio with us.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to tell us more about when Tunic was created and what's happening with Tunic since the beginning till this day?
Oh
I
my
see that
gosh.
you have a couple of singles out,
Yeah.
and I'm very excited to listen to the full album that you're releasing soon.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Tunic has actually started in 2012, which is a long time ago now, when I was just a young man eager to pursue rock music, and now I'm jaded and old. But no, realistically,
Man, I was gonna say you look like you're 18. So what? You started at
Yeah.
like when you were 5? Like how
yeah,
old were you when you
yeah.
started?
I started when I was, yeah, no, I'm 29 now, but so yeah, Tunic was supposed to be like a hobby band. I had sort of had a full music career already, uh, as a late teen into sort of the early 20s. And I played in this band, I played bass in this band, and we toured all over the world. And the only place we really had fans was in Germany, and we went to South by Southwest a couple times. And then sort of I was the guy who ran the band at one point sort of told me that I wasn't really a good enough musician to keep like playing with them, sort of, which was kind of rude. And I've been in this band for 4.5 years, and that was
Oh,
really
wow.
yeah, it was really discouraging.
After 4.5 years, you realized that?
Yeah, it took him 4.5 years to realize I wasn't a good enough musician to
Oh,
be in it.
wow.
It sounds
But
weird.
it is weird, especially since we had 3 drummers and 3 keyboardists in that time frame. I was like the only other consistent member. So
Wow.
Wow.
and so he sort of told me that, and I was like, all right, well, I deserve to be treated better than this. So I quit, and I bought a guitar, and because I was playing bass at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna make my own band. And so that's really how Tunic was formed. It was never supposed to be this like noisy, hardcore noise rock thing that it is now. It was I don't really know what it was gonna sound like,
Uh-huh.
but my original drummer Sam Neill, who still does all the art for the band to this day, was like a punk. So he just like, this is how I play drums, and I was like, all right, well, I got to play guitar to those fucking huge sounding drums. And Rory, who is the bass player and still the bass player, he joined because he was my roommate. And so I just
Okay.
said, hey, I'm just jamming with this guy. If you want to come hang, just casual. We're never gonna go on tour. We're never gonna make a record. It's just for fun. And then one by one, we like went on a little tour, and then we're like, no, that was fun. We should do another tour. We should record. And it just sort of snowballed into this beast that it is now. That it's, like we have gone to Europe twice and played
That's
100
amazing.
shows in 2019, and done some dates with like Mets and Ken Mode and all this stuff. Like it's just it's been a lot of time spent on the road and a lot of time spent grinding it out and stuff. But it just sort of started out of spite as a hobby, and then I kind of got hungry and hungrier because I liked it. Just was a really natural progression. I liked the response that we were getting, and some people pushed me to take it a little further, and then so naturally I pushed it further, and then as that little bit of success, I got to taste a little bit of success, I wanted more and more and more, and just sort of decided to really go for it. And sort of in the last like 3 years, I've really decided to push the project to its fullest potential.
That's great. That's great. Congratulations, David. This is amazing. Just wanted to ask you about where are you bringing this kind of music from? I see that, and I really like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that you're going beyond the limits and you're always pushing these boundaries. Every single that you come out with has pushed a little extra boundary and then a little extra more. I don't know if that's the case or it's just my feeling, but I find it that very interesting. You want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, Fernando, do you mean just like musically or
Yeah.
lyric? Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good question. I've never. It's just sort of how it goes. Like it's just sort of in my, like, as I mentioned earlier, Tunic has been a band for a long time, so it's just sort of as I get more confident in my songwriting abilities and my guitar playing, like I am only still a novice guitar player. It wasn't something I started till I was in my 20s, my early 20s. And so now that I am in my, like, now I just sort of understand what Tunic is now. So I think that base was established, and now I'm able to push sonically and musically what the songs are and what Tunic is. Because for so much it's spent sort of figuring out who we are as a band, and then now that we sort of established that, I'm able to sort of to play and push. So I guess that's what I'm doing now.
I see.
How did David? I'm curious when you say that it took you guys some time to understand sort of like the bass music. But how did you? I'm curious. Like, was that like how did you guys do that? Was that like just like as a result of just playing together over and over again, or like did you guys actually sit down and plan out like this is what I like, this is what you like, let's kind of coordinate both sounds together somehow? Like how did you guys do that? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Boy, that's a good question, Jack. We never like sat down and planned out like I like these bands and you like these bands. Like, you know, that sort of like we all sort of came from well, Rory and I came very much from a similar world. Rory and I were both born and raised on indie rock. Like we were big indie rock nerds. We played in indie rock bands. Like Rory wore like Rory played glockenspiel and guitar in one of his bands, and you know I wore a tie and played bass, you know, in a band that sounded like the National before we did Tunic. And Sam was the punk, so Sam showed us all these incredible records. And like this is also at the same time, like, you know, that first Mets record dropped in 2012, and so that was like a you know, I was always sort of flirted with, like, obviously I like Nirvana and stuff like that, but we never, it just was playing together. We honestly just played together for probably 2 years before we played a show, because I never played an instrument and sang at the same time before, and I didn't know if I would sing or if I would yell. Like I remember the first time I yelled, I was like, holy shit, that just came out of me. Like like it was, you know, I never thought that I'd be doing that in a band. I always thought I'd like, you know, I would sing or I'd just be a side person. So yeah, it was really just years of just hanging out. Like we would jam probably 2 or 3 times a week. Sam worked till midnight as a dishwasher, and we just like Roy and I did like, you know, like fuck all realistically. So we would just like pick him up at midnight and go to the jam space and like smoke and drink and jam till like 3 a.m. for like 2 years, just like figuring it out. So, and then eventually
sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah,
it was very much a young person's thing to do. And you're like, you know, at like between the ages of like 21 and 24 to just like hang out.
It kind of evolved, I guess, to where it is right now.
Sorry?
So it kind of like evolved, like where you got like.
Absolutely.
Did you guys even play for someone? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's great. Sounds like a good plan for any other weekend, even now for me.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to just
I'd still love to do that.
I miss it. I miss it.
Well, Dave, when you come to Toronto, we'll pick you up at midnight, all right? And then we'll kind of do a repeat of it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do either one of those things anymore, but I'll still hang out. I figured if I was gonna be on the road 100+ days a year, I probably should save some money and stop both those things. So
that's true. David, I've seen a couple of videos that you've done before. They're very interesting. I really like them, and they're very creative. A lot of dissonance between what you can hear against what you're seeing. I think that was on purpose. You want to tell us more about how you came up with that idea, or who came up with that idea?
Sure. Is there any video specific, or just the my sort of like, they're all sort of pretty.
Yeah.
They're all in the same vein, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna add a couple of examples here so people can see what we're talking about.
Sure. This style.
Exactly. Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So originally, I'm not the biggest fan of music videos as a form. I find that like they often take away from the song as a whole. You don't remember the song, you remember the video. And so I wanted to make these sort of, my idea was to make these slow motion videos that like that you will remember the song, because I would always be a person, and this is just for me, and then I just was like, oh, I'll use it for my band. And So I was always a person that would like I would always click the YouTube link that has the album cover on it, and then I would like go do something else. Like that's and so I was just like, no one really watches music videos, but obviously people do. So I just wanted to make like slow moving images that were sort of grotesque or disturbing, that sort of matched, that were uncomfortable. Sort of the whole thing was just to sort of make it very uneasy, and disappointment. It was really the first music video we shot, and truly it was just like luck of the draw, like the first real home run of just our buddy, we paid Keegan $50 to spray himself in the eyes with what appeared to be bug spray. And like that clip is only 7 seconds long, and then we slowed it down to be 2 minutes.
Oof, wow.
And I remember the first time we did it, we were like, holy shit. Like it's I'll tell you this, I don't know if I've told anyone this, it's rice milk in that he's spraying himself with. It's chocolate rice milk because we knew we were shooting in black and white, so it needed to show up. So yeah, that was sort of like the idea behind the videos, are just to sort of have these
something
something uncomfortable, and like because the music is kind of uncomfortable. The music is very tense.
Yeah.
And dissonant, as you said, and so disappointment was really like the first start of that, and then like eye contact was like, which is eating the food in reverse, and boss, which is just washing the hair, like it's just sort of like slow moving. I guess the industry calls them visualizers now, is kind of what they are. Mm-hmm. But and then we really and dry heave in the tub, and the exhaling video with the food and the face, and what's the the blessed video with us sitting and like singing, and we're being painted. That video was very much inspired by a hip hop video called the song is called Leg Lock, and the artist is called Shake Will, and that's all that the video is. It's just him and all these different weird scenarios, and them just zooming out as he raps the song. And so it's like I will never be able to make a video that good, but it is perfect. Like it is chef's kiss. Like please, after this, go watch that video because it's just phenomenal. And so
definitely gotta watch that now.
I'm curious about that as well.
It's so awkward and so uncomfortable, and the song is just so great. You're just memorized, and so that was kind of like, that's all we're trying to do, is we're just trying to like sort of keep your attention, but mostly keep your ears' attention.
That's very nice. Yeah, that's very cool to have the whole story happening on the audio and not in the video. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just, I really rambled there, but but I hope I made sense. So thanks.
No. Thank you for elaborating. Thank you. That's
it's really cool how you guys are taking inspiration from all different kind of genres.
Yeah. Something that it's kind of far away from you, from hip hop. It's not something that comes right in your alley, but at the same time, it's something that now that you're mentioning it, it makes sense to me that you have that in the back of your mind.
Well, yeah, that's something that Tunic's always been really great at. Like I mentioned before, like with Rory and I both being like indie rock dudes, like there's like, there's some like ideologies in punk rock that don't exist, or don't, like, I guess like ideas that don't exist like in punk rock, or like with visuals and with stuff like that we like were able to like cross over and just be like, no, what, fuck it, we're gonna use that, or we're gonna do that, like, so it's just sort of like, we don't really care. We used to really care. Now we've just sort of hit the point now we're just doing Tunic. Tunic is just whatever we want it to be, and we're just going to do that. So
nice. I like that.
Very nice. Last but not least, David, you want to tell us more about what's happening the April the 9th?
Sure. April 9th, we are releasing Exhaling, which is 23 songs. It's sort of a career-spanning vinyl and CD and digital download through Artifact Records. It's our first record with Artifact. They've been incredible to work with. They are very good people. But it's all of our previous releases that are sold out, bundled with some new tracks on it as well. And so,
how many new tracks?
3 new tracks and 20 old ones spanning the entire career of the band. So it's a long story, but I'll tell it shortly. Is that we originally put out our debut record, Complexion, in 2019, with a label that is now defunct. And actually, as they put out our record, the label fell apart, and the guy who owned it all this checks started to bounce, and the two people that we like worked with were like, yo, we both quit this job. There's no one running this label anymore. And we're like, cool. and then the label kept taking money for orders of the vinyl and then not shipping them.
Oh,
So,
man.
Wow.
and so like people would like hit us up, like the people would like DM us on Instagram or email us or whatever. People reach out to me on my personal, like on all my personal social media accounts, like, I bought this record, and where is it? And I was like, oh fuck. And so like I sold like every last copy that we had, and then like I sold my personal copy, like just like, you know. And so when we signed with Artifact, I was like, can you re-release this record? Like, you're good people and I trust you. Like this record didn't really get enough love, and so it's like, let's bundle all this stuff together. And so it's sort of just like an opportunity to sort of a little bit of a rebirth for those tracks.
That's awesome. Is Artifact adding something new to the old songs?
Yeah, it's all remastered. It's all
remastered. That's great.
It's all, yeah, everything is all remastered, which is to make it sort of universal sounding, since some of that stuff is from like, it spans like a variety of sessions, so it's some of them got retweaked there. So
that's great. That's great for make the whole album to sound cohesive and connected with each other.
Yeah, and we are like releasing another record later on this year, so like they're a little fun fact there. But so like, you know, there is tons of music coming out for us, so there's a lot going on.
That's great. That's great. Hope to listen to these new 3 songs, and looking forward to listen to the other new album at the end of the year.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, hope to see you guys live soon, man.
Yeah, I hope so too. I would love to, you know, this band we're a live band, let's be honest.
Yeah. If someone asks you like what's the kind of show that you would give, or what to expect from Tunic in a live show, how would you answer that?
You'll probably hate it.
Yeah.
It's, to the average person, that's what I would say. But like, it's loud. It's really loud. We used to just describe ourselves as feedback and yelling.
Okay.
And that makes us sound like we're a noise band. So we're not. But it's a very punishing experience. It's very loud. It's very cathartic. It's lots of yelling, and it's very sweaty.
That combination, I like that. I love that.
I know. I was gonna say that's like right up my alley. Like, you know, I love it.
That's exactly my thing.
Well, perfect. I'll see you at the
Sweaty,
next show.
noisy, and difficult and painful.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That's awesome, David. I know you have another interview after this, or you have something else, so we won't take much of your time. But
Okay.
Thank you for joining us, man. It was very cool
Thanks,
meeting
David.
you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks,
Pleasure
guys.
talking to you, man.
And hopefully we can meet personally when all this is over.
Yeah, please. I would love to hang. I'm always, you know, the sick part about all these interviews is I've been at home all day, every day by myself. Great. So it's like, oh hell yeah, someone else, let's talk. Like, so.
Well, remember, David, when you come to Toronto, we're gonna have to pick you up at midnight and reenact that whole thing that we talked about.
Okay.
Right? So,
yeah, I'll break edge, and I'll get hooked back on nicotine again. It'll be great.
Sounds perfect to me.
Sounds good to me too, to be honest. My girlfriend would kill me, but besides that, it'd be fine.
Well, we'll bring her along. She's gonna hang with us too.
Yeah, there we go.
You'll have fun as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
right,
thank
guys.
you, David. Have a great day.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
All the best.
Thanks.
All right.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye, guys.